to another episode of Brett talking about Superalgos. I don't even know what to call this. Tonight, I'm thinking about walking through some more Docker development tips, and then maybe testing out a couple of trading strategies towards the end if we have some time. Let's kick things off talking about the beer that I have tonight. Always a lot of fun. Tonight it is Artisan. I guess you can't really see the label too well. This is a 4-grain saison that is, I believe it is aged in oak. It is ale fermented in oak barrels. It's one of my favorite beers. It is absolutely delicious. Saisons are my favorite beer style, and adding in the oak aging just makes it so much better. So cheers. All right. So the Docker idea that I'm going to walk through tonight is aimed at one person in particular who keeps asking questions and just needs a little bit of guidance. And it's difficult to do these things directly in text. So I thought it might be better to give a little walkthrough in terms of how I would handle the situation that this person is in. For some context, this is a very special case, but it is definitely based on a use case that a lot of people start out using Docker for, or at least start their development practices in Docker with a strategy similar to this. There we are with Brave bringing up the advertisements again. So this person in particular wants to run a Docker container on a remote host because they have a work laptop that they obviously don't want to be doing, non-work things on, which makes perfect sense. And they also want to participate in contributing back to the project, and they want to participate in the governance, which require Git and other Git-like commands. Excuse me. So they have a very special, NAS that they are trying to run this on that does allow running Docker containers. And they don't have any other access to it. So I figured I may not be able to 100% replicate the working environment that this individual has, but I figured I could help out a little bit in terms of a few tips on how I would set up something similar if I had a similar use case. So, very first thing is we're going to start with a blank Docker template, Docker file. But what we want to do is we want to start with from Debian. I'm just going to call it latest. I'm not going to put in all of the necessary Docker best practices in this because it's purely for a development purpose. And essentially what we're going to be doing is turning a Docker container into more or less a virtual machine that we're going to be doing our development work in. So we're going to want to run apt get update, and then we will apt get upgrade -y. Yep. And I am a terrible touch typist, so you will see me looking at my keyboards a lot, and of course it is blocked by this huge microphone, so I always have to look around it. And then I want to apt get install Git, because that is one of the mandatory things. I also want to install Bash. And I don't know if you're crazy like me, maybe a little Z shell. And let's see, from there, we are going to want to find the, one thing to note, today, beta 12 was released of Superalgos. So development was merged into master. Beta 12 was released. There are a lot of brand new updates that go along with that. Oh, I don't know why this link doesn't work. I set up this table of contents and somehow it got broken. I have not looked into why. But anyway, there's a lot of new updates. You'll probably have to start over with a fresh workspace and update all your things because a lot of references have been changed or renamed. So let's see. We want to. We were installing Python 3 also, so we can do that. Python 3. And then we want to put in the and I don't think I need to sudo. Let's see. I think that might be it. So one of the, I guess we could install whatever. We'll just run with the root user for right now. So what this gets us is we have git, bash, Z shell, which we don't necessarily need, but some people, Mac has changed over to Z shell as being the default. Some people are getting very used to having Z shell as their default shell. Bash is obviously most people's default shell and the default for most Linux operating systems if you're used to that. Python 3 is really only used for TensorFlow and machine learning. And if you are running on an ARM system like Raspberry Pi, Odroid boards, any other of those single compute boards, or the brand new Mac, I wonder if they've been updated. But anyway, downloading the Node TensorFlow package does not work on ARM. You have to specifically compile it for ARM, so it's a little bit more difficult and not something that I have really I'm going through my mind right now. I have not dove into instead of divin. I have not dove into it. So let's see. Let's start with this. I guess just to go over this a little bit. So this is one of the things that a little trick, how everything is ended with a backslash on this run command, and every single individual line starts with a double and. It helps reduce the size of the containers. It helps increase the build time, and it helps with reusing the layer cache and speeding up the builds in subsequent uses. But of course, as soon as one of these packages changes, like the apt-get upgrade, pulling down Debian latest, all of this basically goes straight through anyway. But it's best, as as much as possible to try and combine all of your run statements into one, unless you have a really good reason not to. So we can let's make a dummy directory right now called source. And then I'm also going to touch a Docker compose.yaml because I personally enjoy working in Docker compose instead of trying to remember all the different commands. So I believe I need to start with a version, and I usually just do a 3, but I know that you can specify point whatever. I think they're all the way up to 3.8. I think I finally did upgrade the version of Docker that is on this machine. And then I'm going to pull up my other Docker Compose file here as a reference so I can see what I'm doing and make sure it's something similar to what I set up originally. So we want services. And I'm going to call this Superalgos dev. I'm going to put in the build context dot. I'm going to skip the other parts. Image, sure, we can call it Superalgos dev. Command. Oh yeah, that's one thing that I want to put in. The other user we don't necessarily care about. Ports. Yes, we do. We want those exact same ports, so it's 34248 and 34248 and 18401. No, sorry, 18041. Nope. And the volumes here, I'm going to mount circ source to I'll just call it app. And I'm going to leave off the rest of it. Let me go back into the Docker file here. Oop. And that reminded me that I wanted to put cmd and put in bin bash. And I am using the JSON notation because that is recommended by most people and Docker itself. So let's see. Now we can Docker compose build. Oops. That's why you don't necessarily put 3.8 at the top. Let's see. Nope. Doesn't like that either. What am I doing? 3.3? All right, so this is why I usually just put 3, and then I let it figure it out. So what was the point of that? So what I did was created a base Debian container to essentially be my Debian virtual machine. Oh. What happened? Oh, I forgot to put a -y. On apt-get install -y to accept everything. Oh, and another thing you want to do, and Debian front end. What is it? Debian front end Docker. Non-interactive. Oh, see, they don't like doing it as an environment variable. All right, so I won't do it as an environment variable, but I will. I guess I'll do it on the installs. Debian front end equals non-interactive, and then I'll do the same thing down here. And let's see if that works better. So I have an alias set up for Docker Compose build to DCB, and that's why I just typed DCB there. So this looks much better. Curl not found, and sudo not found. Why am I doing sudo? Yes. Let's just, that may not work. Will that work? I guess that'll work. So I need curl. Let's see if that works. I may need to put a bash in front of that dash symbol after the pipe. Let's go to the official docs. Let's see what they say. Yeah, dash not found. Let's see here. So they have the binary distributions. Here, Debian as root. Yep, just bash dash. And it is now up to 17 instead of 16. So watch this. D and paste and a backslash. And then install NodeJS and npm. Excuse me. Looks like we're getting Python 3.9, which is fine. Yes, I do need development tools. and Yarn. I guess I could install Yarn. NodeJS Legacy. Why do I have NodeJS Legacy? And Yarn, sure. I don't think we use Yarn as a package manager in Superalgos. Let's see what that did. So as you can see, I once again did absolutely no prep work. This is all 100% on the fly. So you get to walk through all the pain points with me. This is pretty much how it goes. If you have not done something like this before, you essentially trial and error and wait for it to spit out errors like lib node 7.2 with Node.js legacy. Why is Node.js legacy getting installed? Let's see. We need LSB release and new PG. Oh, it did install them. Maybe I'll take npm off. What is npm doing? Yes, install that and npm. So let's get rid of npm on here. Maybe npm is pulling in legacy things. Looks like this is working a little bit better this time. Yeah, I think this is going to work. Nice. Oh, what did I do? I copied install. Whoops. Okay. So now we can Docker compose up -d. We can Docker compose logs. Yep, it does nothing. So now we can Docker compose exec superalgos dev bin bash. What? DCPS. That is my Docker compose. Oh, right. So what I need to do, how do I get Docker compose? I don't think I can Docker compose to get a interactive. So I want to Docker run it rm dash v for source to app, and then I want dash p for, what is it, 34 34248 34248 and 18041 18041. Sorry, dash p. I think that's dash port. And we want to bin bash. Nope. Invalid reference format. Port. What is this? Ports? Oh, come on. How have I already forgotten this? Dash P, dash V. Does this have to be the full? Usually invalid reference format. What? What am I missing? That is supposed to be those brackets. Nope. What am I missing? Oh, right, of course. Forgot the image name. Can you see this? I guess you can't even see this. Well, I'll make sure that I write up a little bit of a gist after this. So if you have trouble following these commands, you can then at least get some type of documentation after the video. All right. Let's see. I guess from here on out, I can. How do I make this larger? That's right. I have to go into settings, appearance. Let's bump this up to 14, 16. Apply. Oh, that's huge. All right. That looks a little bit better on the video, doesn't it? Probably. So where are we? We are on slash. So let's go into slash app. And we have nothing. Do we have git? We do. So now we are at the main Superalgos. We want to fork. I already have my own fork. Come over here. I'm going to do the HTTPS version. So now I can git clone and that. One thing this does is it using the HTTPS version, you do not need to have your SSH key set up. If you want to push, you can then log in on the Git command line and set things up that way. One thing that is pretty nice is GitHub Docs have a pretty good oops, typed Git wrong. They have a pretty good how-to for configuring Git, setting up your username and password and your email address and things like that. And you should definitely follow that. And I will post a link to that as well as a part of the video, the documentation of the video after this is all done and uploaded. You may have seen, I just did a quick search for GitHub setup Git, and boom, it took me right to the GitHub docs here on how to set up Git if you want to look it up yourself. So what did we do? We just cloned Superalgos down to our Docker container. And you can see that we are on Origin Master, and we have all of our Git things here, including our .git directory. And if I exit out of my container, you'll see in our source directory, we now have all of the Superalgos code here, and it is saved. And if we docker ps -a, I have a whole lot of things running, but you can see that we exited our container 7 minutes ago, or it was created 7 minutes ago. We exited the container and it's gone. So any changes that we made in that container are totally gone now, which is why we set up the persistent source directory. So now if I docker run again, I can cd app and I have my code here again. So now I should be able to, well, I haven't done it yet. Node version 1701. So let's node setup. We don't really care about these shortcuts. Probably, well, let's just wait and see what happens here. I should have added new shortcuts onto the command, but we'll see if this, hey, we're all done. All right, so now we can node platform, min memo, no browser. And hey, we're up and running. So now I should be able to go over here. And it can't be reached. Oh, that's cool. 34248, right? 34248. What's going on here? Let's duplicate this. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Let's see. 3424. Oh, I typed in the wrong. Of course. Let's try this again. Because I put in the wrong port. That'll always do it. 34248. 34248. 34248. 18041. 18041. Superalgos dev. Now we can go back to app. Superalgos. And we can node platform min memo no browser, and now we should be able to reload, and hey, there's our application. close that in my second window there. So now I'm here. Let's see. What if we wanted to open up the token distribution, Superalgos? Because we just had token distribution at the beginning of the month. And as always, there's people scrambling to get their profiles configured, asking why their app.update doesn't work, why they can't create PRs, things like that. Here's my profile. I definitely need to go through and figure out the voting and claims better. I barely spent any time on that. I am 100% guilty of that. This doesn't seem like it's up to date with the latest. The other thing. Oh, I guess I don't need to. I was going to say I probably need to. I feel like there was a whole bunch of things that I missed. Anyway, this looks like a very, very old workspace. How am I getting an old workspace? I don't know. Let's see here. What happens if we app.update? Update done. New version found. Cool. What if we click on the develop? Hey, we changed to the develop branch. Cool. So Git functions are working. I have never set up my GitHub things here. Username and token. So I guess that token, you probably come over here. You go to your settings. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't feel like typing in my password and things. But you probably click on authorize GitHub apps, type in your password, and you create an application specific token, which is kind of like a single use password. So that instead of typing your own personal password into the workspace here, you would just put your username in the token, and the token acts as your password. And that's how other things work. But if you I'm assuming if you have GitHub behind the scenes working, it does it as it needs to. But I do not know. Anyway, that is now how you would create a Docker virtualized working environment for you to develop in. If you want Superalgos to start when you run the container, you would just set app Superalgos node platform min memo no browser as the application command. And let's see what happens if we do that in our Docker file, our Docker compose. So let's type command, and we will type app Superalgos node. This is how I want to do it. So typically you would write these out on their own specific lines. This may not work. Because that is not my working directory. How do I want to do this? I guess I would CD to it. That doesn't sound right. Well, whatever. We'll give it a try. Trial and error. I don't know if this is necessary. This is the YAML way of getting the JSON format for your command. Basically, you just break up all the spaces. Let's see if this works. Nope. What is that? Bin CD? Probably because I didn't bash. What is going on? All right. Let's do it in the old funky way. So I want to CD to app Superalgos and that didn't like it either. Bash. What do I do? Bash minus E for execute? Is that what I do? No, come on. What does the Nginx container do? entry point. No. No. What is it? Dockerize that does this? I think it's Dockerize. No, that's not what I want. Oh well. I will come up with an update for that later. I'm going to stop for now because I don't know where I want to go with that. But anyway, what am I doing? So where did we end? We ran Docker. IT gives you an interactive terminal. RM removes the Docker container when you're done. The volume gets mounted so that you can persist the code out of the container. So you can update the container, update the dependencies in the container without any problem. And then you just have the code ready to go. Forward your ports so you can connect to, the program. And then run the container with bin bash. So you can work on it. And there you go. Bob is your uncle. So I guess while we have this up and running, I might as well go ahead and talk about some strategies real quick. Because everybody wants to know how to make money off of this, don't they? So what was it doing? Min memo and no browser. So let's go back to our platform. Reload. Close out of a couple of these windows. Hello out there to the one viewer that is watching right now. Hope you're having a great day. I hope you're learning a lot. Let's go back to our getting started tutorials. This is where I like to start. Where was I? Was I on the getting started tutorials? I guess I already was. Well, we're reloading. All right. We will call this. Man, the doc search engine. I thought this was updated as a part of this new release. One 192.168.1.30. And then we will rename this to Getting Started Tutorials Demo. I guess I already did that once. Call it -1. We'll save it. We'll reload to make sure that we're on the right thing. All right. So what do I want to take a look at? So every once in a while, you have these huge spikes of the candle that just drop out of nowhere. This happened a couple days ago. I don't know, not very famously, but some people noticed, and it was kind of a shock that Bitcoin USD on Binance a couple of weeks ago. Let me see if I can pull this up in TradingView. That might be the fastest way to get it. Do I have to sign in? I guess I have to sign in, probably. Let's go to BTC. Crypto USD on... Can I click on Binance only? Because I think it was only on Binance. Ooh, there it is. So you see this candle right here where everything was trading up in the $64,000 range, and it dropped all the way down to like $8,000 very quickly. I saw a couple of posts talking about how they took advantage of this. Some people were talking about their grid trading strategy, which works very well for very volatile markets where it's basically sideways, but goes up and down very frequently. I thought a very quick thing to do would be to revisit the... I'm going to have to redo all the data here, aren't I? Let's get this kicked off. And let's just pull down like the last month of data from Binance US. Let's change this. So people that had very long-term, I'll just start all these, limit buy orders open, we're obviously able to take care of it or take advantage of this. I mean, if you put a buy order for $8,000, you probably would have placed that. Let's see, the last time that it actually was at $8,000 was in April of 2020. So that's, what is that? A year and a half? A little bit over a year and a half. That you may have had a limit order open, or maybe you're running on the 24-hour candle screen and you are placing using a strategy like this lightning strike, but slightly modified. So I've done something very similar to this before, where I just came in and said, okay, instead of using the 1 minute, let's do a 24-hour. I think HS. So, and we'll do support 5 rate. And our cancel order event, we'll set this, excuse me. So we want the number of periods, excuse me. So 1 day in this case is going to be our period. So we were saying that about, let's set it to 720. What is it? 730 is 2 years. 365 times 2. So let's say 2 years. We'll keep it open and we'll see if it hits. And this is not going to test out that well. But, excuse me. We'll do the same thing. I'll just do two orders. I'll call that sell order 1, and I'll call this sell order 2. So, create order event. I need to name this sell order 1. Sure, that's good enough. But here we want our order rate to be we're going to do the resistance rate. We'll just do a 1 to make sure that it sells quickly. And I think this we want to be true. To just go ahead and place it. And here we have the period value. We'll set this to 30. So if it doesn't sell within 30 days, we'll cancel and we'll just close out. And so now, see where we are with our data mining. Hey, we're all the way up to date. Perfect. And we've got like 2 months of data. We've got $1,000. We are working on the 1 minute, but I want to make this 24 hours. Our time range is going to be the 1st through 11/3. And I think that should do it. So let's run and run. And this I can stop because I don't need it anymore. Let's see what happened. Let's see. Oh, that's the live trading. Let me zoom in here. Nope. Are my candles on? Candles are on. Oh, I'm at September. That's why. And I'm on the 1 minute. What's going on here? 1844. Wow, I am backed way the F out. There we go. I'm starting to see some candles. Well, don't know why. There we go. All right. Now we have some candles. Where are my Oh, right. I need to get out to 24 hour. So I placed my buy and it just kept going. So I don't know why that didn't get placed earlier. Maybe it was down lower. But anyway, we didn't quite make that candle. What was the date on that? Oh, 21st of October. Should have gotten that. Oh, it's USD, not USDT. That's why I don't see it. All right, so that was the 21st of October. It's this candle here. Oop. Losing my headphones there. So, if we were on the US dollar to BTC chart, you would see this candle spike way down. And our sell our buy would have actually hit that, because it looks like we placed our buy. We have that on limit buy orders. Let's see, we were trading up at like 34,000. We placed our buy down at 39,000. And it looks like we placed it the day before on the 20th. So if we were running this strategy and we had that huge stop loss spike, stop loss searcher, whatever you want to call it, somebody fat fingering a sale and placing the decimal point in the wrong place, selling off billions of dollars of Bitcoin, whatever it was. With this strategy, we would have bought at 39,000, and then we probably would have placed our sell. Let's see, the resistance level 1 right here was 67,000. So we would have been very close to doubling our money in a very short amount of time. I mean, we would have waited a couple more weeks, assuming that Bitcoin in a couple weeks comes back up to that $67,000. But maybe we would have sold at 63 instead. Still very close to doubling our money with a very simple 24-hour strategy. Okay, so that's it for me for the day. Maybe we can get into some other strategies another time. Look us up, I guess, like and subscribe. I'm going to post this up to YouTube tomorrow, so you can follow it there if you like. Follow me on Twitter, Splat_algo, Splat_algo, 2 S's, 2 T's. I did just get my Twitter bot up and running. So Superalgos, my Superalgos cluster is now posting data up to Twitter. Follow that if you like. I think it's called BT_crypto_stats. Find me in the Superalgos Discord and Telegram channels, and follow us on GitHub, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Clone the code, contribute back, docs, marketing, evangelizing the platform on Twitter, Reddit, whatever you want. We have a Reddit subreddit. Join up, upvote things, discuss. I don't know. That's all that I can think of in terms of pimping the software. So yeah, next week, send me some questions or something. Otherwise, I'll just try and come up with something on the fly for what to discuss during the next time slot. I don't know. I think that's it for me. Signing off. Until next time, catch you on the flippy floppy.